Peachies, welcome back to Dear Peachy. Have you ever tried to recreate a look from a makeup guru, but it always feels like something is missing? Like that extra oomph that really brings the whole vibe together just isn't there. Well, today we're going for a Wasian makeup look that has been widely discussed on XiaoHongShu. It's a style that's quite learnable for makeup beginners, but still has enough technique to make it interesting to master. We're featuring Lily, who is going to walk you through the details in every step that quietly transform your makeup. Those little techniques can actually make a huge difference. Lily is an up-and-coming makeup influencer on Chinese social media. She first started by recreating trending makeup looks, and gradually shifted towards skill-based content that highlights the difference between effective and ineffective techniques when recreating those looks. We find her account extremely helpful for literally everyone, because learning the right techniques is far more important than simply using the right shades or products. Without further ado, let's dive straight in. Before beginning, Lily moisturizes her face with a hydrating mist. To achieve an even and flawless base, color correcting is very important. Lily begins by using a salmon pink shade to correct the dark circles under her eyes. Then, using a light purple shade, she corrects the hyperpigmentation around the corners of her mouth, the T-zone, and her forehead. For areas with pink or red undertones, such as acne or redness around the nose, she uses an olive green concealer and gently dabs it on top. Then, she uses a cushion puff to lightly pat out the concealer. It's totally fine if it doesn't look perfectly even at this step. Next, Lily applies a thin layer of foundation with a flat foundation brush, starting from the cheeks and moving along the nose, forehead, and chin. With a slightly dampened cushion puff, she pats the foundation to blend it evenly into the skin. After wiping away the excess foundation on her lips, she applies a lip mask to prep them. For nose contour, she uses a contour pencil to sketch the outline at the nose roots, aligned with the inner corners of her eyes. She creates a V-shaped shadow around the nose tip and base, along with a horizontal shade across the nose bridge. These are just the base shapes, as Lily will further define them later. If you have a longer philtrum or thinner upper lip, you can contour the philtrum groove and the base of the nose to visually shorten its length. Don't forget the lower lip area as well. For facial contour, apply it at the highest points of your cheekbones that protrude outward and along your jawline. The outline of your forehead should also be contoured. Lily mentioned that many people have told her their liquid contour cannot be blended after applying it directly to the skin. She explained that this usually happens for two reasons. The first is the foundation formula. If you're using a quick setting foundation, it forms a film once it sets. When the contour sets along with the foundation, it becomes difficult to blend afterward. The second reason is the brush you're using. The brush should be completely clean and free from powder residue. If there are powder particles left on the brush and you use it to blend cream or liquid contour, it will actually set the contour instead of blending it. The more you try to blend, the more it can ruin your base makeup. It's best to keep a brush specifically for this step, or make sure your brush is thoroughly cleaned before using it. Next, for blush, Lily uses a light milky pink shade as the base color, since she plans to layer other blush shades on top later. Highlighting is a step that beginners often overlook. A matte highlighter should be applied to the mid-face area to increase forward projection of the face. These are the areas where the matte highlighter should be applied. Once applied, use a clean cushion puff to dab it out precisely. This step helps brighten the shadows around the nose and smile lines as well. If you want an even stronger effect, you can reapply the matte highlighter with a brush directly along the grooves beside the nostrils. Make sure to clean up the edges of the highlight. You can definitely see the difference between the two sides here. Next, switching to a detail brush, Lily applies a powder matte highlighter to set the areas that were just brightened. Areas like the tear trough, aegisal, and inner corner are set with matte highlight powder. Setting these areas with matte highlight powder creates a stronger brightening effect, and lasts longer compared to setting them with loose powder. Then, to set the entire face, Lily uses a translucent loose powder. For brows, Lily first uses a light top shade from her eyeshadow palette to map out the direction and structure of her brows. Next, she uses a liquid brow pen to draw hair-like strokes at the brow head and brow tail to mimic natural brow hairs. To lighten her brows, she brushes through them with a grayish-brown tinted brow gel. For eyeshadow, the process is quite simple. She uses a cool-toned palette and first applies a nude brown shade across the entire upper lid as a base. The same shade is then applied to the lower lid area, with extra emphasis on the outer corner along the lower lash line. The color is then extended forward to wrap around the aiguille to create a cohesive shape. Doing this helps the eyes appear wider. Next, Lily puts on a pair of brown-colored contact lenses to brighten her eyes. Since her eyelid crease isn't wide enough, Lily adjusts it using double eyelid tape. She first places one piece in the middle of the crease, then adds another at the outer corner to lift the crease further. Next, she dispenses some lash glue first. While waiting for it to become tacky, she quickly curls her eyelashes using a heated lash curler. Then she fills in the tight line with a black gel liner along the upper lash line. Lily mentions that she keeps the tight line very thin, right along the lash roots. However, if you have a wider eyelid crease, you can make it thicker to create a wider eye effect. The liner becomes slightly thicker toward the outer corner to make the eyes appear rounder. Then she fills in a small triangle at the outer corner to form a wing liner as usual. Lily says she naturally has rounder eyes, but she prefers a flatter and more elongated shape. So her eyeliner is designed in a way that helps extend her eye shape. Next is the inner corner liner. Using a brown gel liner, she gently dots along the inner corner, starting from the tight line and extending it forward, following the natural shape of the inner corner. You don't need to lift your eyelid to do this. Once it reaches the end of the inner corner, continue lining along the lower inner corner to wrap it together. Stop the liner once it reaches the outer rim of the iris. The finished result should look like this. The inner corner should be parallel to the outer corner, not higher or lower. For the lower lash liner, trace a line about 2 mm away from the lower lash line. Then blend it out with a brush to soften the edges. Finally, the false lashes. Since the lash glue has already become tacky, simply place the lash clusters along the lash line. Lily initially wanted to apply lower lash falsies, but they were too long for her preference and ended up lying flat on her aiguille, so she removed them. Applying mascara is a better option for now since it looks much more natural. For the aiguille contour, she mixes the light top shade with an almond shade and lines it along the groove underneath the under eye fat. She creates a horizontal, straighter aiguille contour that suits her elongated eye shape. If you notice that the aiguille contour looks uneven, you can always correct it using a matte highlight powder. It instantly cleans up unwanted shadows or strokes. Next, Lily returns to the contour powder and applies it over the previously contoured areas to further define the shadows. She mentions that the contour powder she is using is not very pigmented, so she isn't worried about overdoing it. Next, she takes a flat detail brush and picks up a warmer brown shade that is slightly darker than her contour color. Lily further defines the tip of her nose by drawing a hexagon-shaped contour on the tip, making it appear more pointed. If you want stronger definition, you can also deepen the lower half of the contour near the nose root. A soft horizontal contour above the nose tip can also help enhance the pointed effect. Don't forget the philtrum contour as well. The contour is reapplied along the groove and underneath the nose. For blush, Lily applies another pink blush powder on top of her previous blush. Then she layers a purple-toned blush on the inner part of her cheeks to add more dimension to the look. Once the face makeup is complete, Lily uses matte highlight powder again to refine the mid-face details. It is applied to the inner cheeks, chin, and forehead to brighten those areas. For the inner corners, she uses a highly pigmented light pink shade to brighten the inner corner, aiguille, and brow bone. She also highlights the nose bridge, nose tip, and chin. Always remember to gently tap out the edges with your finger. Since Lily notices a few sparse areas along her lower lash line, she adds a couple of lower lash clusters to fill in the gaps. For the eyes, she uses a deeper brown shade to darken the outer corner slightly, helping the eyeshadow blend more seamlessly with the eyeliner. Now the entire eye makeup looks more cohesive. For the lips, she wipes away the lip mask and lightens her lips with a thin layer of foundation. To define the lip shape, she uses a lip pencil in a shade close to her natural lip color. If you're unsure how to apply lip liner, here's a tip from Lily. Gently push your upper lip upward like this, and you'll be able to see the natural contour of your lip line. Following that contour, fill it in along the outline and slightly thicken the corners of the mouth to create a lifted effect. For the lower lip, simply follow your natural lip shape without making it too thick. To further define the lip contour, Lily switches to a deeper shade of lip liner and goes over the areas again. It follows the same principle as the nose contour earlier. We first lay down a base, then refine and define it. Again, blend the lip liner out with a brush so that the edges are soft while the overall lip shape still looks structured. Next, apply a milk tea shade lip gloss all over the lips. Then layer a slightly deeper shade of the same tone at the center of the lips to add depth. If the lip gloss or liner spreads outside the desired area, you can clean it up with concealer. Lily says this makeup look leans strongly into the Wasian aesthetic, but at the same time it feels sweeter than many other Wasian styles. It's like a blend of cool Wasian vibes with a cute twist. And this is how it looks under natural sunlight. Finally, for the hair, she straightens the fringe slightly inward so that it frames and complements her face shape better. So what do you think about this look? What we learned from this tutorial is that recreating the makeup looks you see online isn't just about applying products once and calling it done. It's actually about layering and refining in very small amounts, sometimes going back multiple times to adjust the details until everything looks just right. It really takes a lot of patience. We hope this video gave you the same little makeup enlightenment moment that it gave us. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.